Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in this beautiful planet Earth. Thank you for tuning in and for connecting on this video where we're going to be talking about a very interesting subject, symbols. My name is Miriam Cunha. I'm talking to you from Kelowna, Canada, and this channel is dedicated to things that help us navigate through this moment and this planet where we are all immersed into this learning journey, which is becoming more and more interesting every day. And I like to laugh about that because it is funny. You know, it's a big comedy playing out all the lies, all the hidden lies, they are being uncovered by light. It's the age of light, the new age of Aquarius. And this in between ages looks a little bit chaotic in the outside because, and inside, and in the inside too, because we're all working through this change. But keep your faith, keep your patience, keep your energy vibrating high because this is what we need now. Trust the big plan. Everything is according to what is to be, going to the new earth, the new system that is going to be more harmonic for, oops, sorry, everyone. Hello, Tereka. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. So let's dive into our main subject. And I would like to, well, first, we're going to talk about symbols, occult meanings of symbols, why they're used and how to use them. I apologize. And then I want to share some messages that have been being downloaded by different mediums from our intergalactic brothers and sisters who are helping us on this journey. And the messages are all correlated, and I'm going to make a summary about that. Hello, Galaxy Now. I like your name. and and then we're going to end with a little meditation with one of the symbols that I prepared for you here, which was a big find this week for me. I was like, whoa, look at what they're doing. So I'm going to start by sharing that. Oh, actually, I'm going to start by first, we have to remember that symbols are not good or bad. They're not evil or good. They are just symbols. Symbols make movement of the energy. They move the energy. Just like this background I have here that is moving. There's a bunch of symbols moving the energy and create the different forms. So the intention that is being used. Oh, hi, Catherine. How are you doing? And I like your name, Galaxy Now. Galaxy Now. So symbols, they move the energy according to the intention we put on them. Some symbols have been creating with an intention, but lots of symbols are cosmic symbols created by the whole, by the cosmos, by God, and they have embedded the energy of creation, which is not gearing towards good or bad. It's just the power of moving that energy to create something. So many people are so afraid of what we have been programmed to believe from institutions and religions about certain symbols that they don't even want to research and look into what the symbols are. So they're just like, oh no, this is a pentagram, it's evil, it's witch, and the witches use it. And They don't even look at what it means, and they get afraid of using the symbols. When the symbol itself, the pentagram, is not good or bad. It is 5-point stars that move the energy with the 5 elements: earth, air, wind, fire, and ether, the 5th element. It's ether. So you have the 5 elements being moved towards this movement of the 5 points star, which can be pointing down or pointing up. And pointing down doesn't mean it's evil just because it seems like it's got 2 horns. It looks like it's a devil there, but no, it's just the energy of anchoring on earth, materializing. And when it's pointing up, it's moving the energy towards the cosmos, it's moving up. Just like we have a torus of energy around our body, which moves both ways. Also, the energy moves both ways on some of the symbols that can be turned up or down. And that's the pentagram for you. It's not a bad symbol and it's not a good symbol. It's just a symbol that moves the 5 elements, and it can be used with different intentions. Like one of the uses for the pentagram can be protection. Can be if you imagine a pentagram on every side of you, like for the 4 sides, up and down, you create a cube of pentagrams around you and you're protected. And it's very effective. So rethink about your concepts and pre-programming ideas of symbols. Understand they're neutral by nature and they can be embedded by intentions. Those are the cosmic sacred geometry symbols. And then we have symbols that have been created by us here, co-creating with the cosmos. And we have been creating symbols for different things, different ideas, like the logos of the corporations. Like when you see a yellow M, you immediately think McDonald's. Or when you see a check mark, you think, I don't think, I forgot the name of that corporation. Blank, that's the shoes. Anyway, you know the check mark, which is, that means I am free of that brainwash. Anyway, the logos are symbols created with intentions to penetrate on our subconscious minds. And that's where you have to watch for the logos and their intentions. And you can also create your own symbols with your own intentions. And for that, I always recommend to be very careful and very clear in the intentions you have with all the details of what you want, because we have the power of creating our realities. And sometimes we forget a little detail, but it's not the end of the world because you can recreate again in your reality. You erase and create another one. It seems simple, but sometimes we have so many pre-programmed ideas. But those pre-programmed ideas, all this chattering in our mind, it stays at the top 1/3 of our mind, which is our conscious mind. That's where all the blockages are. And then we have 2/3 of our mind, which is subconscious mind. It is pictured as an iceberg that 1/3 top above the water is the conscious mind, 2/3 below the water, it's the subconscious mind, where the whole matter of creation is there, pure, just ready to be activated. And that's where symbols go through. They surpass the chattering blockages of the mind and go directly to the subconscious to activate manifestation. And that is what the beings that have been controlling. Hello, John, how are you? I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know if I have answered your email, but I'll see you tomorrow. Anyway, the controllers of this, not the I don't want to say in present because they're not controlling anymore. The ones who used to control the world the old world we're leaving behind. They used the symbols and occult meanings on some of the symbols they created to program us. And that is why it's so important to be aware of all of that situation, so that we can actually deprogram some of the stuff and program as we want to be programmed, right? So all the corporation logos are created with the intention of the corporation behind it. That's marketing on the old system. Symbol made up to be embedded on your subconscious mind, so you get attracted to buy at that place. And that is actually magic put in practice. Magic is another thing that is neither good or bad. It just is the power of manifestation. Now, if you're manifesting something good or bad, it's your intention behind it which creates that evilness or goodness of the magic manifestation. So demystify this thing about the magicians and the witches and all that stuff, voodoo. Like I've, I've, I've heard a friend of my son actually said, "Oh, I don't believe on this voodoo thing your mom does." Okay, doesn't even understand, don't even ask anything. Okay, what is it that she's really into? I'm just into knowledge, into understanding, and my intention is light. It's to brighten this light on higher vibrations. That is my intention for this journey I am traveling through. And on this journey of actually intentioning light and vibrating high, I embrace all of myself, my darkness and my lightness all together. And I walk the middle path. All right. So this is a little bit of talk to demystify the evilness or goodness of symbols. So it all depends on where the symbols come from, how cosmic and ancient they are, ancient they are, not ancient, ancient, and if they have been created by us, and if they have an intention behind it. I remember Nike, the check mark is Nike. All right. So I am going to share my screen right now and share something that I found this week that made me like, wow. Some of you have heard that there is a project in the United States being done by the Army in the US called Project Warp Speed, which is a project to I don't want to use that word, to inject something and go around people with the to kill the little monster. Okay, I hope you understood. I just don't want to use certain words because otherwise they're going to be censoring my video, and I don't want that. So the project Warp Speed, it's a project that the military is going to go everywhere, sharing this um, cure for the little monster that is uh, making us stay inside. I laugh about that because it's funny. It's all a play, it's a comedy. That's how you have to look at it. Anyway, I'm going to share the screen with you of the symbol they used for that project. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Let's see, share the screen. Look at this. Operation Warp Speed. They have the little monster there, the little blue-red monster, inside of a symbol that is like a cube. This symbol behind the little monster is an ancient symbol of healing. It is a Lemurian, well, they say it's Lemurian, but I would say it's cosmic. It's ancient. The Lemurians used it for healing. This symbol dissolves that energy. And then when you look at this symbol, this so powerful symbol, behind, encompassing the little monster in the middle, the intention behind this whole project is way bigger than than what we can imagine. And it's a good intention because it's healing. So what is it that they're doing, right? Yeah, the Metatron's cube there. But now I'm going to show you the symbol that it's there without the little monster. It's called Antakarara. Let me show you. I have to stop sharing the screen and share the other one. Uh, this is the symbol they have behind. Well, this one is with the rainbow colors, but it's the same symbol. And now I'm going to show you another form of that symbol. Just give me a second here. Let's see. Da, da, da. There we go. Share this screen here. Share this. All right, there we go. This is the symbol behind that project. Let's go back to that project quickly. Oops. Here. Here is the little monster with the Metatron's cube or Antakarara. Yeah. But look at this. It is the Antakarara. Okay, let's go back there. Oh, go back. Here it is. So there is a male form of the Antakarara and a female form. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see. So the Antakara, I was saying it wrong, Antakarana symbols. So there are several variations of the Antakarana symbol. The male symbol, which is smaller, and it's a single Antakarana used primarily for direct healing, as it has more focused and penetrating healing applications. And the female symbol, which I think is the one they're using with the little monster there for the project Warp Speed. So this is the large single symbol and has a more gentle, nurturing, and general healing property. Its primary use would be under a therapy couch cover or on a chair back to increase the healing power and create relaxing effects. And then you have other uses, the cosmic cross with the Antakarana symbol repeated on the cross. And this is consists of 7 individual Antakaranas corresponding to the chakras in a line crossing each other. This symbol opens the heart to positive energy and purifies. Use the symbol directly on the heart chakra face down. And then you have the square with the Antakarana repeated 16 times and is used to dispel negativity and blockages of any point in the body. You can release old congested thought forms and habits. That is great for dissolving programming. And it brings spontaneity back to life, as the inherent properties of the square are to dispel and scatter energy. It is advisable to ground oneself afterwards. This can be achieved through meditation or by direct application of the male symbol to the base chakra. All right, so this is the Antakarana symbol. And I think this is the female version that they're using here. Let's go back to the project symbology there. It seems to me like it's the female, but I'm not completely sure. Anyway, both male and female are healing, and that's what they want with this. This operation is an operation warp speed to heal this monster. Okay, so when you look at that, how can you not trust the plan? You know, the plan is as it's supposed to be. Then I'll leave you with that about this symbol and the Operation Warp Speed, because many mediums have been channeling that this thing they're injecting doesn't really exist as it's supposed to. And if some people are having after effects, maybe they're having after effects out of emotional reactions, or maybe they're just actors. Think about it. All right. So now we're going to go back. This is the next symbol I want to talk about. Look at this Eye of Horus. It's an Egyptian symbol. Let me get it bigger here. The Eye of Horus also represents the five elements: air, earth, wind, fire, and ether. And it's represented by each part of the symbol. And when you cut the brain in half and look at it from the cut part, this is how it looks like here. And then you can see the pineal gland. John, the 15 stars, I haven't figured that out yet, why they had those stars there. But I think it might be protection or anchoring, because the five stars, the 5 point stars they are using are pentagrams, and pentagrams can anchor energy or it can dissolve energy. We'll go back to that. So, coming back to this, the Eye of Ores here. So you have the pineal gland is right in the middle of our brain by the thalamus, and that the pineal and the pituitary glands, both glands are there in the thalamus, and that is what the Eye of Ores symbol that the Egyptians portrayed everywhere means. It's the occult representation of the power we have inside of our heads. The occult representation. Why occult? Because we have been going through thousands of years of darkness in this planetary system, where the truths, the universal cosmic truths, have been hidden by darkness. And now we're entering this light age where everything is being uncovered. The truths are being uncovered. We're going to see a lot of stuff that is not so pleasant coming out to light, but as well as truths that help us understand better who we are and what we're doing here. Just like this Egyptian symbol of the third eye, or the Eye of Horus. And here you have the Eye of Horus superposed over the cut of the brain where the glands are. The pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and the thalamus. And here's our inner bird. Our inner bird is that part of that comes out of those three glands in the brain that connects to the spine. All right, so a lot of symbology here, very powerful to actually see that. And how interesting is that the shape of a bird, the falcon, Horus, has the perfect vision. So the third eye, where we have this glands, is where we have to focus to awaken, to discalcify. And when I mean discalcify, it's because with lots of chemicals we have been intaking, this vision has been calcified, especially with fluor, and that's why the old system was putting fluor on our water in an attempt to keep us blind not to see our power, but it's too late now. All right, so let's move on and see if there's any questions. Are the stars galactic? I guess I should go back to those stars there just a moment. I'm curious. The stars are pointing up. They are pointing up to the cosmos, so they are releasing. They are bringing energy from the cosmos. And there are 4, 8, 13 stars actually. And those things here on the side, I haven't figured them out yet, but it seems like some kind of Hebrew letters. I'm gonna take a look closer on that and let you know next week. Okay, so continuing with symbols, those are the Mayan symbols. Those 20, well, those, the Mayans had many symbols. Symbolism for ancient cultures was big because they knew how to communicate better. So symbols are very powerful communication tools. And the Mayans had these 20 archetype symbols representing the groups of DNAs of different species that are here on this big experiment called Earth. And let's go move on. This is the cover of The Economist, which has been flipped because they actually publish it with everything flipped so that people couldn't read it unless they flipped the cover. They're very smart, these people. And they publish every year a cover trying to program. We think they're predicting, but they're not predicting. They're trying to program and use our energy to manifest what they want. So they put a lot of symbology there to work directly on our subconscious mind for those things to come to reality. And if you look at every magazine of this kind, like The Economist and Times, and they're always putting symbols to go into our subconscious mind. You see here, this guy, that it's a famous old painting from Leonardo da Vinci, actually resembles to me our prime minister in Canada, you know, legalizing marijuana, which is on his hand here, and then a change of DNA. This is the DNA codes, playing ball and balancing the immigration of people, using the codes for communication. And there's a lot of symbology here, but I just wanted to point out that they use a lot of symbols to program people. All right. Okay, so here we get a little bit of sacred geometry. Sacred geometry. It's in Portuguese, but it says the universe is created by one consciousness that manifests in the physical reality through patterns that we call sacred geometry. So sacred geometry, it's a set of patterns that creates the physical reality of the universe through the consciousness. And here you have related symbolism of our DNA to the chakras that are the symbols of our vortexes of energy by the Hindu knowledge. And the Taurus energy, that is also another symbol of our energy, and how actually the universe moves energy. That is actually the key of time traveling and universe traveling. If we stop thinking linear, we'll understand more how things work. And here is this spiral here. It's the golden ratio. which is the perfect ratio of a spiral that we can find everywhere in nature. Everything that is nature, cosmic nature, plants, us, and everything stone, it's created on this perfect golden rage, represented by the spiral. So this is how we have to think about time. A spiral, just like the galaxy, the movement of the planets around the sun, our movement of our energy. And then you have the correlation of that with the circles that start creating everything. So at the beginning, you have one circle, and I have actually this little bracelet here. I'll show you later this bracelet. It's I'll tell you later about this bracelet, but it's about circles creating everything. So one circle at the beginning split into two, creating duality. And then it splits into four, starting creating the flower of life, which is related to the human egg when it's fertilized and it starts splitting the cells and forming a body. So everything is connected and everything is connected. All the information, if you go to the symbology of the old Hindu mythology on the Egyptians, the Mayans, the the Celtics, the Africans, everywhere you have symbology that matches each other, telling a similar story, giving similar information. And here, this same idea is correlated to the Platonic solids, the Metatron cube, the tetrahedric star, the cube or the hexahedra, the octahedra, the dodecahedra. I don't know if I'm saying that right in English, and the icosahedra, which represents five of them, the five elements, and this one here has one extra one, six. All right, we went through this already. And here we have the principles of human consciousness, which actually reminds me of the idea of the iceberg of our consciousness and subconsciousness here. So you have the triangle, which is the Atma Buddhi Manas, the fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensions. I'm sorry. And also the triangle, you can see that on every religion, you know, the Christian religion is God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, which I don't like their conception because they eliminated the feminine energy of that and replace it with another male energy, inverting the polarities of the correct triangle, because it should be father and mother and son. The son is the spirit, is the Holy Spirit, because it's created by the two energies, feminine and masculine. And then here they are actually saying that the Antakarana symbol makes that connection in between the Trinity and the square. The square is the symbol in the sacred geometry that it's the first material manifestation. The square is the first material manifestation. And you can see that the four dimensions of the physical are here: first, second, third, and fourth. And apparently, we're going from third to fourth to fifth now in consciousness. All right. So let's go back. Okay, this is another Egyptian symbol, the scarab beetle. It's another Egyptian god. And then many people are like, oh, why they had the god with like it's a scarab beetle doesn't make sense. But then when you actually look at how it resembles to our human skull looking from the top, there you go. It's a symbol. It's a symbol of our power. It's got the wings, you know, and this ball here, which is the light coming from our head, our head, the human skull. Oh, here we have again. We were already talking about the circles creating everything there is, and here you have one circle, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and so far, so on, until we get to the Metatron cube and the manifestation of everything there is. And talking about circles, I was thinking when I was going through this material that the old controllers of the old system that is leaving, they created all these messages, subliminary messages to brainwash us about the whole thing that is going on with this little monster. And they have been saying things like bubbles. You know, you gotta be on your bubble here and bubble, and all the bubbles are separate. And bubbles are spheres, circles, and they're just separating them. And when you separate that, you're breaking down with the cosmic energy of creation. So it is a movement of destruction. Think about it. Think about it. And here we have the Solomon star of 6 points, another symbol that has some pre-concept ideas. Many people look at it and they say, well, this is the Jewish star, but it doesn't really belong to one community or one race or one religion. This is a cosmic symbol. It represents male and female together. Even the Masonic symbol of the compass and the rule is the same symbol. It's the 6 point stars. It's the male and female together creating this spark of energy that creates a new human being or creates reality. So you have the male and female there. And here it says, that's this book's interpretation, and it's in Spanish. It says, this is the Solomon triangle, and human unity, it's completed by the right and the left. The primitive human being is androgynous, and all the human body organs are placed into pairs, into duality, except for the nose, the tongue, and where is it? Where I lost where I was reading it. Even us, yeah, except for the nose, the tongue, and the belly button, and the Kabbalistic jot, which I am not sure what they mean by that, and the divinity, the divine essence that we have has two essential conditions, like fundamental basis of our beings, which are the need and the freedom. And I like this phrase here, to make light visible. Oh no, I'm sorry. I gotta go back. The loss of supreme reason needed that uh, need from God and regulate freedom, and it's necessarily reasonable and wise to make visible the light, to make the light visible. It's only because God has imposed the shadow, the darkness. So to manifest the truth, that's why it was made the doubt or the lies. So the shadow is the impulse of light. The possibility of error or making a mistake is necessary to manifest truth. Duality at its best. And I always advise follow the middle path, encompass both of your sides. Be neutral about things. This is the pentagram known as tetragrammaton. I don't know how to pronounce that in English. Tetragrammaton. It's got a lot of symbology and some Hebrew letters and sacred geometry. And it expresses the domination of the spirit over the elements, the five elements, through this symbol. Like it's very broadly used by magicians and witches, practices and rituals, because it's a protection symbol where you actually take control of the elements, and you can actually make that symbol to protect the area you're working with the energy. All right, and this one is very interesting here because this is the yin and yang basically. So from the one circle, you get two energies that spiral around, which is positive and negative, male and female, black and white, dark and light. And everything comes from the one and it goes to the one. The creating universe appears from the one and disappears into the one. And that's what it is. All right. Okay, so I have this. These are more complex things. I want to show you this. This is another Egyptian symbol, the Ankh, the chemetic womb of mankind and eternal life. That is why the Egyptians carried the Ankh, because they said it was the key of life and death. So there you are, the female uterus represented there. It is the sunset and the sunrise are the ovaries, the fallopian tubes, the vaginal canal, which is the portal of life. And that's what it means, that symbol. Okay. And this one is the 7-point star, the heptagram, the Star of Babylon, and the Law of Seven. So many people think that this star is related to black magic, but it's not evil and it's not good. It just is. It represents the seven, the power of seven, the law of seven, the seven musical notes, the seven colors of our chakras, the seven planets that rule our system. Although there are more than seven planets, but this is the energy that rules. And here are them related to the piano notes and the frequencies. And this is the flower of life, the combination of circles and circles and circles, multiplying infinitely, creating everything there is. And this is the Mayan Hunabku symbol in the center. This is the representation of God for the Mayans. And again, you have there the duality of dark and light and the spiral, the two opposite energies coming from one and going to the one. And as you can see from the one and the duality, everything else was created, which is the archetypes. Those symbols are the archetypes of the DNA of all the species created on this galaxy. And the Mayans knew that. And the Hindus knew that too, because they had their symbology on the chakras, the seven chakras. And this symbol here, many of you have heard of Reiki. Reiki is a modality of energy healing that came from Japan. And this is one of the main symbols of Reiki. There are other symbols that do other things, but this one is an activation of connecting the earth to the cosmos. And if you look at the meaning of the symbol, look at how interesting. It starts here. This represents a grain of rice expanding, and it's inside of a cooking pot. And then steam is produced by the rays of the sun. And then the earth dancing with heaven, connecting here. And a prayer or choir, it's being sung, and it connects with the raindrops from the clouds of heaven. So the veil between heaven and earth. And that is the movement of this symbol. So when we think, oh, wow, this is just a symbol, but it is a symbol that contains a lot of information of what this healing energy works through, connecting earth to the cosmos or to heaven, however you want to call it, which is the same idea of the Kabbalah tree or the tree of life or the chakras. All of those symbols that are connecting the earth to the cosmos are correlated, just expressed in different ways. All right, and here you have the Platonic solids again, and we've gone through that, but I don't want to get too deep into that now. The symbols of sacred geometry again represented by the circle, the bicycle Pisces, and forming angles in between the circles, you create the other elements like the triangle and the square and the pentagon, etc., the hexagon, and etc., etc. So that's why it's called the seed of life when it comes to this point here. And as above, so below, as below, so above, says the Kybalion. I would recommend you to read this book, The Kybalion. I'll spell it Kybalion. It's available all over the internet. It's an ancient book that talks about the cosmic truths of the creation of the universe. And when you look at that and think about us above, us below, and so below, it's above, when you look at the circles that create the flower of life, you can think about an atom and molecules, which create everything that is the matter here. And there you go again, the same idea of all the symbols created by circles and angles in between. And the archetypes, the circle is, the circle, let me make it bigger. An original pattern or model from which all things of the same kind are copied or on which they are based. A model or first form, a prototype. That's what archetypes mean. It's like a prototype, mold. So the circle is the prototype of eternity, wholeness, perfection, fluidity, complete, divine. Square is the stability, rigidity, grounded, imperfect, base, earthly. Triangle, it's balance, synthesis, union, sharpness, intellect. A star, spirit, sovereignty, achievement, openness, oneness. Cross, power, authority, strength, focus, and will. So most of the symbols are composed of those archetypes. And if we know the archetypes, we can start understanding a lot of the symbolism around. And look at what the Mayans did with their writing, this complex collection of symbols. The Mayans communicated their writing through symbols. How interesting. All right, so I'm gonna stop this sharing for now. And if you have any comments or questions, this is the time right now before we get into the meditation. Oh, actually, I have the message to share with you. Just a moment. Get the message. All right. So there have been different messages being channeled by different mediums. Messages coming from the intergalactic brothers and sisters or interdimensional beings. There are beings from different origins right now helping us, so it's not only one origin of beings. And they have been all saying similar things. And this one, it's a very interesting message. It says that things are going to get very serious for the next while, with scary things occurring as they have to, and that has been shared already. And it is being shown by military movements, because it seems like only by force it will be accomplished the takedown of darkness on this planet. And keep faith on the plan, trust the plan. And that one person that they are trying to crucify, the media and lots of people who are not seeing things how they are, they think this person guilty is guilty of everything evil that is happening, when it's actually the person front man of the whole cleaning of the swamp. Anyway, this already happened. They say he was going to lose his communication on social media. That happened already, and that's going to actually prompt for other kinds of emergency broadcast signals, and they're going to finish the cleans. So what they're telling us to do is to stay quiet and wait and have faith and trust in the plan, because at the end of the day, this is God's plan. And all the violence that the mainstream media is portraying, it's staged. And we should not lower our vibrations into that, and keep working on our high vibes and our connection to the bigger understanding of things in the cosmos, so that we can actually choose the timeline of the good reality. The planet itself has already chosen, so the planet Earth is moving into the golden age of Aquarius. But many beings who are incarnated here have chosen not to see things, and they're choosing the other reality. But don't fall for lowering your vibrations with fear and anger, because that's what those creatures want. So if you find yourself taken by the fear mongering, step out and laugh, even if you have to force your laughing, because our brain doesn't understand it doesn't differentiate between real laughs and forced laughs. So if you force laughing, you start releasing endorphins into your body and feeling good about it. So pretend that you are on a roller coaster and you're going down the roller coaster, and while it approaches the top, you're like, so laughing lifts the spirit, it releases energy, negative energy, and it puts you into a neutral place, which is where we have to be, neutral. Let's drink a little bit of water. All right. So this is it's a summary of the messages that have been sent to light workers everywhere. I get to find the messages in different languages, and they're all saying the same thing. So trust the plan, trust the plan, raise your vibes, keep spreading light. That's what we need. So our little meditation to end tonight will be with the Antakarana symbol. So I'm gonna share the screen with the rainbow Antakarana version of the symbol that heals and releases negativity. Let's do that. And here it is, beautiful Antakarana. So let's look at the center of this symbol and imagine the energy being moved by light and releasing all sources of negativity and blockages that might be interfering on our process of healing and harmony and happiness. So let's make this movement of energy and release fear, release anger, release frustration, release all the things that are not balancing us, and heal, 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 balance. So you can find this symbol by searching on Google, but if you don't find it, send me a message or an email and I will send it to you so that you can keep using it for your benefits. I really like the rainbow one because you know me, I love colors. All the colors, I can't decide for one color. That's why I embrace the rainbow because it's all together. The colors of that make light. All right. So this is our short little meditation for today. And I'll stop sharing. Hey, Audrey, how are you? Big kisses to all of you from my heart to yours. And I am so honored and happy to be on this journey with you, all of you, and happy that there are so many people waking up right now. And we can keep spreading light because more people will wake up. It's a wake up call from the cosmos. Oh, and show you this. This is a bracelet. It was very fashionable in Brazil in the 70s, this bracelet. And I found it here, but it was very common. And it's a bracelet, but it shapes into different forms because it's made out of circles connecting to other circles, like the flower of life. Isn't that beautiful? It was used for meditation too. Like so, you have this portable bracelet meditation tool with you all the time. And that's when I was using it this week, I was like, oh, this is why they are creating separate bubbles. They are separating the creation, the power of creation. When all the bubbles are all mixed and mingling together, we create everything together, not separate. All right. And another thing I wanted to show you is that I acquired this book here just because it's called Quadrivium, just because it's like an encyclopedia of symbols. It is fascinating. I really love this book. I found it on Amazon, and I'm not making publicity for anything. It's just that I love it because I love symbols. I love uh, sacred geometry. And I'm creating a course that will be at the Metaphysical School online that it's going to be sacred geometry, because that's my most beloved subject. 13 equals the number of planets in this galaxy. Oh, the galaxy is composed by different planetary systems, and different planetary systems have different numbers of planets, just like the atoms have different numbers of electrons turning around the proton and neutron. As above, so below. As below, so above. Anyway, my dear ones, I love you all and have an excellent, beautiful week filled with harmony and beauty. Connect with nature, sing, dance, eat your favorite foods, smile, laugh, hug, kiss, make love, even if it's to yourself. And I'll see you next time. Please share this message, click like, and all these little things from YouTube while YouTube is still exists. And I will see you next time.